Hey, how's it going today? This video is definitely a unique one. I am going to be doing one on, I think this is an issue a lot of us face probably on a daily basis or whenever we get new figures, right? Loose joints. Loose joints, loose sockets, loose shoulder sockets, or leg sockets. So this is going to be a pretty much a tutorial on how to tighten up shoulder looseness or leg looseness, or even neck pegs as well. It works just as well for that. Even for the waist, I've done it for a couple as well. So definitely gonna be interesting. One thing I'm gonna say right off the back is that uh, I use super glue to tighten up the joints on almost all my figures. Depends sometimes on the type of the glue. Doesn't really matter, like the brand. Sometimes I get what I can find because sometimes there is none. But if you can find the regular super glue or the gorilla glue, I like this one right here because it's a gel, right? This one's a gorilla super glue. This one is a gel. It doesn't run. It's not runny. It's a little more thick, right? So when I put it on a certain spot and I want it to stay there, it'll stay. So that's kind of cool. But the runny one does have its uses as well for other instances, like if you're trying to put a little bit in a place that's really tight and you can't really reach it and you want it to kind of seep in there, yeah, that would work. But anyways, the type of glue you get really doesn't matter too much. It really what really matters is you getting used to it and having patience. I think patience is the key when you do these things because you can or will make mistakes. Um, so yeah, this is the one we're going to be using for this particular figure. But like I said, I've used many different types of super glue and they've all worked just as fine. So Gorilla Super Glue. We're gonna be doing Vegito right here. This is a demoniacal fit figure. And for the most part, he's fine. Because I have two copies. The other one was fine just the way it was. If anything, the shoulders were a little tighter on the other one, but they weren't too tight, so I left them alone. But this one was a little slightly loose, but not even by a lot, because like the hands don't fall, right? You can see that they don't fall, right? If I do this, yeah, you could see that it kind of falls back down, but they won't fall all the way down, like down, right? But if I turn the arm like this, you can see it better here. See? Right there. See, sometimes it stays, sometimes it doesn't. See? Okay, so this one definitely has loose shoulders. I'm gonna try to do the best I can, and I'm gonna do this on camera so that you guys can see, because I definitely get this question a lot, how to fix tight joints. And then I wish I could sometimes do something really quickly, but something like this takes a minute to set up and do it thoroughly and with patience. um but yeah, so we're definitely gonna get to that, and I'm gonna show you guys this one here. I just got not long ago, not the head sculpt, the body. I have like three of this one. This is my third body of the full power. I got another one because I did need another extra, but when I got this one it was used, so it was a little loose on the legs. But I was fortunate enough to figure out that it was just the actual ball peg itself, and not the this part right here, not this right here. The makes what makes this go left and right. It was the part that makes it go forward and back that was loose. So I was able to put some glue on that and tighten that up like pretty damn quickly. But I will at least. I'm not gonna be gluing this because it's already glued, but I will pop this leg off so I can show you guys exactly how I did it, or at least try to explain it the best I can so you guys can see it on a leg joint. And then I'm definitely going to do it on Vegito's shoulder joints for sure on camera. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is obviously prepare this right here. You don't want to make a mess because it will stick to things, and I've made my mistakes here and there when I'm using certain types of counters. Try to put a small amount on a piece of paper or like a small piece of cardboard, something where it won't seep through, right? Something that can handle it, and make sure you put enough to where it's not going to dry out so quickly on the said piece of paper or cardboard piece, because from there you're gonna dab it off with a sharp tool like a safety pin or a needle, something like that, to kind of smear it on the joint. So that's how you're pretty much gonna set that up. All right, so for this situation, I'm going to use this safety pin right here. Like I said, you can use anything with a sharp tip. It doesn't have to be a safety pin. You know, it could be a toothpick, it could be just a piece of little really thin stick. It could be anything really. But this is the one I'm using for this instance, so. And I'm going to show you guys what it, this is the piece of paper I got, the cardboard type of stuff. And you see, I put a small amount right there. You can see it on there, right? It's not a lot, but it's enough to stay wet and it won't dry up on you. So keep that to the side. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to show you guys one more time. This arm is loose. As you can see, look at that, right? The weight of it brings it down. Sometimes it doesn't, but I barely touch it and it does, right? So that's what we're trying to fix. This one's kind of loose too, but it doesn't do that as much. So I'll probably leave this one the way it is. This one's pretty good for the most part. Let me see. Yeah, it doesn't fall on its own. So that one's fine. This is the one I'll be fixing. All right, so I just warmed that up a little bit with the hair dryer, just so that, you know, just in case you still want to be safe when you pop these things in and out. I always try to use some type of heat, preferably the blow dryer right now, because I'm going to be using a fluid on this and I don't want that to be wet with water. It's going to take away from the super glue we're trying to add in there, right? So there you go. Okay, so this is pretty much what you're going to do. Let me get the all right, let me move this out the way. Let me put this on the side as well. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little bit of glue on this safety pin, right? Make sure you guys can see it, right? See that safety pin? I'm gonna get just a bit. So I'm gonna try to pick it up. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna try to pick it up like this, right? Just get a little bit. You see it's on the tip, right? You'll see it on there. Let me zoom in on that. There you go. There you go. Okay, so you're pretty much going to try to smear it around the ball like this. Oops, sorry. Let me, you're going to smear it around like this, right? Try to do this quickly as possible because it will dry up on you, right? You're going to do that. Once it's smeared around, it doesn't have to be perfect. Then, always try to remember to put a very thin layer each time if you need to do it more than once. You can apply it when it's completely dry if it's not tight enough, and then just always do a small amount and gradually work your way from there. So what you're going to do is you're going to pop this back in, right? Like that, quickly. You're going to swivel it around and then pop it back out, right? Oh, the face fell off. Okay. Now, the point of that was so that when you pop that in there, the glue that was on this joint, right? Some of it smeared in there as well. And I find that this process works the most perfect for me, and it has since the beginning, because now I shared the glue from this side to this side, but it was done in a way where it's molded around the socket. I'm sorry, the socket and the peg itself. So by doing that, I smeared it around, but it stayed tightly around the gaps and hopefully fills out those gaps that it needs to. So anyways, that's pretty much it right there. That you do that with sockets when it comes to that. You can do that with the necks as well. I've done that a few times as well, and it works perfectly. And it does it the same as this with the legs as well. Pretty much anything that has a socket, I've done it with the waist as well. So now that you did that, all you're gonna do is let this dry. It dries up pretty quickly, but I like to give it at least 20 minutes, more or less, and then I'll check it. If it's dry, it's dry. Once I'm satisfied, what I like to do, it's the glue's pretty much dry, but what I like to do is just, I still let it air out completely for like half a day, and then I'll put it back in, you know what I mean? Just to be a little extra. I like to be extra. I know it's super glue that dries fast, but I'm just a little meticulous like that. So definitely let it sit and let it dry, and I will be back in 20 minutes. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes. I know I said 20, but I think 15 is good. Um, so I'm gonna show you guys what the socket looks like. You could see that there's like a little bit of a dried up uh, film, particles, whatever you want to call it. That's the glue that dried up inside. Like I said, it's always best to start off with as small amount as possible, and then that way, if it's not tight enough, you can do it again and gradually do it with a small amount at a time, and you almost always get the exact tightness you want doing it in that method. Always doing a little bit at a time, let it completely dry, Do it again if you're not satisfied until it's tight enough to your satisfaction. So anyways, I'm gonna get that arm real quick and we're gonna see what it looks like. And here we go. I'm gonna show you guys what the see, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. Here, hold on, let me see. Let me zoom in on that. You could see that it's kind of dry on there, and there's like a small film, which is cool. You can see it right there, probably better. There you go. So yeah. All right, we're gonna pop this in here. I definitely feel the resistance already, whereas before it was a lot easier to pop it out. So, okay, it's not going in quite yet. There you go. You guys heard the pop? Yeah, it already feels way, way better. Look at that. The arm's not falling down. See, it used to go down to on its own, and now it's not, and I'm tapping it, and it's not. That's awesome. Look at that. It's not falling down anymore. And I'm rotating it around. Yep. Yeah, it's definitely way, way better. And it's not so tight. It's just perfectly tight. It's snug, and I like that. So that's cool. Like I said, one more time. Doesn't fall down. It stays where it needs to stay. So I think that was a success right there. But like I said, the process can take maybe 2 coats, maybe 3, but always use a small amount so that you leave yourself room to adjust it accordingly as needed. Let me show you guys something else real quick. All right, so for this Gohan, like I said, I had bought it a while, not long ago. It was a little loose, but I did the same thing. I coated the peg with glue, just the peg. Did the same thing, popped it in there, swirled it around, popped it back out, and let them dry off or dry up, just the way they are. And you can see this one from moving them around had the glue's completely dry on this one. Let me show you guys, see what that looks like. You see, it's completely dry on this one, right? You can see it on there. And that might not look the prettiest, but it definitely gets the job done. So all I do is pop that back in there. Right, and then I'm good to go. So yeah, that one I had fixed it like a couple weeks ago, but I at least wanted to show you that it's the same method on that one as well. You just pop it out. Obviously, like I said, always use some heat to pop these out, but preferably the blow dryer. Coat the peg, pop it in, let the glue smear into the socket, and just swirl it so that it molds into the gaps. Pop it back out, let it dry up, rinse and repeat. And it even works for face plates too. I know sometimes we get figures that have face plates that fall off easily. I think Vegito is one of them, whether it's the SH or the Demoniacal Fit version. He's always had face plates that fall off easily, at least for me anyways. So I've already did it on this one, but I'm going to just run it through you real quick so you can see. So these little sockets where the pegs go into, I dabbed on some glue on the edges, around the edges of the circle pegs, and then right here on the rectangle one. Just dab it in there. You do this time I did it the opposite. Instead of putting it on here, I put the glue inside the sockets, and then when I push this in, you know, it bolts around this side as well. Then I pull it out and I let it dry up. That's pretty much the process. And now this faceplate does not fall off as easily anymore. And this thing used to fall off so easily. Like I just go like this and it fall off, or I tap it and it falls off. But it does not fall off as easily anymore. So I love that. That's awesome. I've done that to a lot. Anyways, that's pretty much it. That's my process that I use. If you guys have any questions, comments, let me know. Any other additional things you guys would like to know, also let me know in the comments, and let me know what you guys thought about the video, because like I said, I know a lot of you have always wondered or always asking me, and sometimes, like I said, I don't it's always easier when you show somebody, right, visually, right? It's explaining it, sometimes it's a lot, or it's not, it doesn't do it justice. But anyways, give me a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.